what was only a few seconds, it was like time stopped. Everything stood still. My name's Chad Seablink. I grew up in Northeast Pennsylvania. Growing up, my mom always wanted to have the family that went to church. She used to get me and my sister every Sunday. Didn't last very long for me. I pretty much fought my mom on it and decided that it wasn't for me, not where I wanted to be, and stopped going. So being in a small town, not a whole lot to do, spent a lot of time looking for and getting into trouble, putting my mom through a lot of grief that she didn't deserve to go through. Once high school was over, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, so I tried college, made it about a year and a half, and just decided it wasn't for me. I didn't really know where I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to do, so I started working at the mall. What started out as a part-time job turned into a management position. I spent many years working in the mall. I was still living in Northeast and decided the commute to the mall and back every day was not worth it. So I picked up and moved to Erie, got an apartment. Found myself one night at the police department, calling my mom, telling her that I needed her to come pick me up. For most people, that would probably be a wake-up call and a lesson learned. Unfortunately for me, I didn't heed that lesson, and a short 4 months later, back at the police station, a little more serious this time. It was around that time that I was pretty much hitting rock bottom. Shortly after that, I met Kelly, and we had known who each other were from working in the mall, but I finally got up the courage to ask her out. So I met Kelly's kids, Caitlin and Alec. They're fantastic. I could have never known then what they would mean to me now. And we started dating, and before we knew it, we were engaged, bought a house, got married. Life had taken a turn for the good. Things were better. There was still something that was missing, though. There was, in the back of my head, there was a voice that was talking to me saying, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. So Kelly had talked about wanting to go to church. She got a flyer in the mail from Elevate, and it instantly brought back the memories of church as a kid and singing hymns, and just it didn't resonate with me, and I was pretty much against it from the get-go. So Sunday mornings came around and Kelly left and I stayed home with the kids, and I started thinking, what example am I setting for these two kids who I love as my own kids, that we're not doing this as a family? And I've decided the one week that all of us were going to do it together. So we loaded up the van, the four of us came to church, and I remember walking in the door and just the difference, the energy that you could feel walking in this place. It was nothing like what I remembered church being as a kid. The experience that day is one I'll never forget, and I actually thought, this is something that could work. I wasn't 100% on board with that. Things were good. I felt good about being at church, and I just didn't know if I was ready to take that next step yet. But she signed us up as a family, and we showed up that day. We were standing in line to get baptized, and I remember watching Kelly go first, and then helping Caitlin. She went next, and then Alec. And when it was my turn, I remember sitting there being flooded with a million emotions. And I remember going under the water, and what was only a few seconds it was like time stopped. Everything stood still. And I remember sitting up out of the water, seemed like slow motion, and just opening my eyes for the first time. Everything looked different. Everything, it was like new light. I remember looking at Kelly. She was the first person I looked at, and just the glow that was on her face and the smile on the kids' faces and the people cheering in the auditorium. It was life-changing for sure. And I'm glad that we did it as a family. It's definitely, I look back now at where I was and where I am now, and I thank Kelly for bringing me back to church. I thank God for not giving up on me, and truly from where I was to where I am now, it was Jesus who brought me from death to life, and I'm very thankful.